What is up, everybody out there on YouTube? Thanks for joining me here on my channel, Stephen Sturgill. Guys, today, once again, we're not looking at oud. Surprise, surprise. Looking at a slight throwback. This guy, Ermenegildo Zegna Uomo, which means man, obviously in Italian. Got this little sampler here. You can pick up a bottle of this, guys, for I believe you can get about 50 mils online, typically for around 17 bucks, $17 US. You can get the 100 mils for around between 25 and $30. So really, really, really budget frag. That sadly otherwise wasn't nearly that cheap when it dropped initially in department stores and designer retail outlets. I think it probably retail for around the larger bottle for between 80 and 100, and the smaller, I'm guessing, around 50 to 65, just roughly speaking. Is this good? Yes, it's very good. It's very, very, very good indeed. But let me preface that, or firstly say that as a lover of fine fragrances, perfumes, colognes, eau de toilettes, as my nose is becoming more and more refined, not to sound snobbish, but I'm getting more and more exposed as time goes by to really, really fine and some very high-end fragrances. The nuances in fragrances like this that are indeed very cheap and budget frags, don't get me wrong, it's an excellent fragrance, especially for what it is. But you can kind of detect that this isn't real high dollar juice, and the elements in here are not extremely costly. They're just not, and you're not going to get the essence of a $500 bottle of juice here. You're not going to get that. I don't care if you got the 100 mils. I'm just using this obviously to represent the cologne, which is an EDT, eau de toilette, concentration. You know, so it's not ever going to be toe to toe. It's never going to stand toe to toe with a $2,000 perfume, but nor for the matter, a $250 bottle of juice might not go toe to toe with a $2,000 bottle, or it might. Some of that maybe is a little arbitrary and just, you know, nose in the air snobbery. However, as offensive as this may sound, a lot of it is real, and it's not meant to be offensive. It's just meant to be factual. And the difference, guys, is that if you're riding in a Ferrari or you're riding in a Bentley that has Connolly leather from England and elements from France and Italia and Deutschland or whatever, you're often going to be able to compare that to like typical American leather or typical Chinese leather or typical Japanese leather or just typical leather in general, and you will see a huge difference. The better leather is more supple. It doesn't crack nearly as fast as cheap leather. It wears far better over time than cheap leather, and can sometimes even smell better for a longer amount of time, and that's just facts, guys. So don't let that rub you the wrong way. It is what it is, what it is. The bottom line is this worth $30 for 100 mils? Yes, it is, easily. It's probably worth easily 60 to 70 to 80 bucks for 100 mils. This is really, really a fine fragrance, and I was absolutely complimented today. It was my scent of the day. Smells so fresh and clean. Perfect for summer, perfect for spring. Now, I'm not one of these guys that absolutely adheres to the code of summer and the code of spring. And you must only wear light citrus freshies in the spring and summer. That's not me. I wear what I want to wear whenever I want to wear it. End of story. So if I want to wear a heavier, cloying, spicy, heavy, musky scent in the summer, I will do that. But I'm learning not to spray as heavily, certainly. And if I'm going to work, I'm going to spray maybe just three light sprays, 4 absolute outer limit, and let that die down and then go into work. But that's just me. But for those of you that adhere to that code of summer, code of spring, code of fall, or what have you, this is perfect, perfect frag. Now, strong points, negative points, let's get into it. Let's get into the notes first. I do not know who the nose on this was. But I will say it says that the face of their campaign was Ryan Burns, and the photographer for that campaign was Matthew Brooks, for whatever that does for you. Okay, the notes. You're getting into... So this is supposed to represent a typical Calabria, Italia sort of jorneo, a journey, or a giorno. Giorno. Anyways, citrusy notes accompanied by chords of violetine captive, which is violet leaf essence, woody notes of cedar, vetiver, some other stuff in there. It probably has a little neroli in it. Maybe something like lemon, possibly. It definitely has Calabrian bergamot, or bergamot. Of course, the vetiver, cedar, and the violet leaf essence. I believe there's something else in here, guys. I'm not sure exactly what. Maybe coriander, maybe a little neroli. It's hard to tell what all may be actually in this, but it's light. There's definitely some woods. There's the vetiver. There's those citruses from something like, I don't know, mandarin orange, lime, lemon, and the Calabrian bergamot. And then there's the violet leaf essence, and that gives it a light, lush, happy, clean, yippity-doo-dah. You get that citrus freshness. You get some of the lushness of that violet leaf essence. Again, with that, and this isn't a real strong, heavy vetiver. It's definitely there. You can definitely smell it, but more so in the dry down and in the heart. And definitely you do get those cedar accords in here as well. So you get some woods. It's just really nice and elegant. You will absolutely smell like a multimillionaire if you wear this frag. You will get compliments. I almost can guarantee you'll get compliments. Now, those are all huge positives. And by the way, it has really excellent performance. I was blown away by the power of this frag for an EDT. Mind-blowing performance. Now, I will say I sprayed heavy. I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, I pretty much gassed myself out, but it lasted all the way through the night, through a really hard shift. Not a really hard shift, but I mean, lots of action, some sweat, you know, some labor. And it just kept on performing. I kept on smelling it all throughout the night. So it's somewhat punching over its weight class. For an EDT, it's performing a lot more like an EDP, like an eau de parfum, or even an extrait for that matter. I mean, I was really blown away by the performance of this thing. So there's all of that. All that's positive, right? So you're asking yourself, well, what's this negative thing you're talking about? What possible I'll tell you. And again, I hate for this to sound snobbish, but the only negatives that I can tell you as a connoisseur of perfumes and colognes and more modern scents, or higher dollar perfumes and colognes, is that this isn't exactly pushing the envelope real hard. And it's definitely not niche at all. This is like opposite spectrum of niche. So if you're someone that already has a large collection and you already have go-to spring fragrances, this is probably, and let me also add, if some of those go-to spring, summer, fall fragrances happen to be very high-end modern designer house, or fairly high-end niche houses, all the way up to extremely high-end niche houses, you're not probably going to be the candidate for this. Not that you might well fall in love with it. I'm not saying that. You might love it, but you probably will not be the top candidate on the list to go out and spend your money. Not that you don't have money, because you obviously do. You're going to be buying all those expensive frags. This is not probably going to appeal real high on your olfactory radar sensibilities. It's probably not. You're probably going to smell this and think it smells staid, safe, typical, designery, and sort of an easy frag to produce for these people, for these companies. For you and I, it might be a miracle, or or a nightmare, or a work of art, whatever. You get the drift. But this isn't really at the level of Hermes. This is not a Neroli from Hermes, one of their spring freshies. But it's really, really good. It's really legitimately very good for its level and for what it is. Smells fantastic, but yes, it does smell designery. Smells very good, but also, yes, smells a bit safe and, dare I say, traditional Italian. It's having said that, it's also very versatile. So one of its weaknesses is also one of its strengths. This is an extremely versatile fragrance. You could easily wear this to the office, the library, the gymnasium, the symphony, the play, the movie, the date, the wedding, the funeral. Not to be glum or negative, but we sometimes have to go to those things. This is extremely versatile, and I think that's one of its incredible strengths and appeals. This is something you could reach for, honestly. A lot of us out there should probably make this one of our go-to frags when we can't think of what to use on a certain occasion, or we just simply get bored with our rotation. Reach for this. You're good. You may not love it, but I guarantee you'll like it. And so will most of your friends and family. So pretty high praise indeed, especially for $30 or less for the 100 mils. And $20 or less for the 50 mils. I believe they may or may not offer 30 mils, and you can get these samples online for about between 50 cents and $1. Honestly, if you want to get your nose on this, get you a sample online for 50 cents to $1. That's going to do it, guys. I wrap it up. I will catch you next time. Spray often, spray well. Live life on your terms, not on someone else's. And don't forget, contest is about to end on the 31st. Just a few more days for you guys to participate, those of you who want to. I'm not seeing much participation, guys, seriously. So remember, I'm going to give you just the generic quick nutshell breakdown. Like and share 3 videos of mine. Comment at least once on one that you like. Tell me how it inspired you, or what it, however you want to relate your life to that frag or that genre, but keep it fairly connected. Please don't just go off on a tangent and say, I don't like that, but this other thing over here, that's pretty gray. But anyways, that's going to do it. Again, catch the episode, please, for the full rules breakdown. Just giving you a little nutshell. And I bid you adieu and au revoir. And next time, I'm gone.